Okay, now we're going to be talking about building the team. One of the things we need to recognize is that the position of the team matters. How do the members how do the members fit together? How do the members complement each other? Complement meaning fitting together with each other. You know, you've got some people's strengths overcoming another person's weakness, and then vice versa. And again, the 1980 U.S. hockey team. Watch the movie Miracle, and you'll get a sense of how that team worked. Good movie. So that's important, the composition of the team. You want to have team players. What is a team player? A team player is somebody who is really committed to the team, who has the appropriate kind of personality that fits with the team, that is essentially, they're going to be trying their, work. In other words, these are going to be the people you want to work with. These are going to be the people who are trying their best to make sure the team continues to work at its best. Okay. Each individual in the team is going to have their particular level of skill and experience. Some people may have more than others, but you generally want to have high-skilled people performing the task that you want to get done. The better the skills, the better the people. Although, again, the example described in the textbook, you remember, it was not necessarily in the surgery team, it was not necessarily the best surgeon that was the ideal choice to lead the team. Sometimes it is the surgeon who is better able to coordinate and connect with other people on the team to get the job done. Diversity is a funny thing when it comes to teams. You want to have a certain level of diversity because you want to have diverse viewpoints. You don't want to have, in other words, if you want to have, and you want to have diverse skills, if you want to be able to deal with a complex problem, you don't want just everybody all to be, have a narrow point of view. You want to have multiple points of view giving more information. On the other hand, a team that has a lot of diversity may have low cohesion. In other words, if everybody is so different from each other, then how are they going to connect? Well, we'll talk about that in a little bit too. And you want to be able to have, hockey team. The coach was outstanding, and also had some great, team players on the team. Mike Eruzione, who was a real a team leader and a real team player that was able to help the team be very successful under overwhelming odds. Okay, so let's talk about the team player. What are the personality characteristics of a team player? Basically, one of the things that seems to be important is agreeableness. Getting along well with others seems to be a pretty good characteristic of a good team player. Conscientiousness, being able to be dependable, having a sense of duty, working hard. Both of these traits seem to be very useful for team players in particular case. But nevertheless, you can see the connection that all of these have, at least to some degree, with teamwork. So, again, personality is important. The KSAs, knowledge, skills, and abilities of team members are important. You want to, in most groups, again, the higher the skill, the better the performance. Sometimes, but rare, you'll have maybe a bunch of high-skilled people, maybe they don't form well as a team, maybe they don't interact well with each other, they may be highly skilled, but they don't coordinate well, so maybe in those cases the performance is lower. Teamwork, in certain kinds of circumstances, they're additive effects. So the effects of the higher the skills of each person, the higher the overall product would be. The synergy effect, it's believed that sometimes when you have a team together, they actually work better than each individual put together. You could probably say that the 1980 Miracle U.S. Olympic hockey team might be an example of synergy, maybe, where where the group is greater than the sum of its parts. On the other hand, you might also have a weakest link effect. In other words, in certain kinds of tasks, the team may be hampered by the lowest skilled member. Remember, there are certain kinds of tasks, I believe the conjunctive task, where, the group only performs well as the weakest member. And in that case, that could be an effect with the team as well. Finally, you also may have a bad apple effect. A person who's not a team player, for example, who might just kind of bring everybody else down in terms of being, not really being committed, not kind of being disgruntled perhaps, and just being having a bad effect that spreads over everybody. So there are various kinds of diversity you can have on a team. Diversity in terms of social categories, race, ethnicity, gender, etc. You may have differences in knowledge and skills. Some people might be more experienced. Some people might have fresher knowledge of more recent innovations, but others might have greater background of knowledge over a long career. Differences in values. You have different political values, different cultural backgrounds. These different beliefs might be important to at least consider, depending on the type of task that needs to get done. You might need to have the different points of view. Different personalities. You may have somebody who's really extroverted who might play one particular role on a team, while another person who may be more introverted but very conscientious might play another important role. Some people may have been in the organization a long time, other people may be new, but you may want to have a mix of those people on your team. Finally, some members of the group may be close friends with each other. Others may be just acquaintances at work, and you may have a mix. You don't necessarily want to have a team where everybody is all really, really close friends. Then they may be more social than actually productive. That kind of thing. But there are advantages of having the heterogeneous teams, the teams that have a lot of diversity. You can have a broader range of KSAs, broader range of knowledge, skills, and abilities. There may be great opportunities for creativity because you're going to have many different points of view, many different creative ideas potentially. People may feel free to say what they want because they know that they have differences and they can express them. So you may come up with less traditional solutions that might be thinking out of the box. On the other hand, homogenous, those with teams with less diversity, there probably going to be a lot of better cohesiveness, greater social identity. People aren't going to be likely to form into subgroups that stick together as one. And there's probably going to be reduced conflict and reduced misunderstanding. They know each other well. They know what to expect from their teammates. There's no mystery there. So there are advantages and disadvantages to diversity. So there are advantages and disadvantages to diversity. But let's say it really is a complex problem and you really want to get out of the box. And you really want to have diversity, which is a good thing to want to have. You want to be able to invite people from different points of view. Well, on the surface, you might find people with different skin colors, different genders, different cultural backgrounds. But you know what? You might see that diversity is really only on the surface. You may find a group of people who are still committed to the goal and who are on the same kind of page when it comes to the task you need to do. You think about a baseball team. Baseball players on a team come from different countries, different cultural backgrounds, different political points of view, but they all know baseball and they're all committed to win. So really that diversity is really on the surface. On the other hand, there may be a more deep diversity in terms of the belief in the direction that the group should go. In that case, that diversity can create rifts and really can prevent the team from coming together on a solution. You want to have a team that has the support of the organization, and if the organization wants diversity, then the organization needs to support the team as much as possible. Give the team what it needs to be successful. Give the team members time to devote to the team. Oftentimes, employees are asked to join a team, but then they're not given the time they need to devote to the team. They still have to do their regular duties, and now here's an extra thing you need to do. Well, that's not particularly going to be helpful for team success. And again, you want to reduce the tendency to form subgroups. You want people to see themselves as one group, one team, and all this. And you can have a team that bonds when you have a clear goal, and team members are highly motivated, and they're really well skilled, and they're really devoted. Well, you can have cohesiveness form based on that, even when you may have differences among the groups. Going back to a baseball team, for example, you might have teams that are very, very cohesive, very, very close, and they really work well together, and they really like each other, and they really support each other. So a really good cohesive team. But maybe when they go home after the season is over, they go back to their own lives and they really don't interact at that point. So really it's the bonding and the cohesion maybe in the setting of the team, of the task itself, and not necessarily beyond it. But that's okay, as long as the cohesiveness is there.